breaking news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game.
Caitlin Clark is a menace, man. She literally kicked Cheryl Reeve off the team.
Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team.
We've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. He's going to take her coach. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule.
Kayla just gave her a straight up, man, forget you and get off my team.
Caitlin Clark didn't just show up to play, she detonated. Points? Sure. But it was domination, devastation, and ego erasure on national television. And as fans celebrated, Fever coach Stephanie White decided it was time for a jealousy tour. She's tossing attitude like it's open mic night for bitter coaches. Meanwhile, Clark? Ice cold, draining logo threes, and ignoring the noise like it's background music. This isn't just basketball anymore. It's a full-blown drama series, and Clark is the breakout star. Buckle up, because the only thing hotter than her step back is the tension between the locker room and the bench.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap.
Let's be honest, this coach is exhausting. Not because her name needs a pronunciation guide, but because her whole vibe screams, "Look at me." Every sideline strut, every cryptic post-game quote, it's giving one-woman show with no audience. She's acting like a championship veteran with nothing to show for it. If drama were a stat, she'd be MVP. The ego's massive, but the results? More group project fail than franchise leader. And fans are left wondering how someone throwing this much shade still hasn't disappeared under the arena lights.
Caitlin Clark just made the funniest All-Star selections ever. She picked her friends. She made sure she picked no ops, as people like to call them.
Let's make this clear, if Caitlin Clark wasn't setting the league on fire, Kelsey Mitchell would be trending somewhere between birdwatching podcasts and utensil reviews. No shade on Kelsey, she's solid. But let's not pretend casual fans are buying tickets to watch off-ball motion and textbook spacing. This spotlight wasn't handed out. Clark dragged it into the arena, shot by shot, logo pull-up by logo pull-up. She's not here to blend in. She's here to blow the roof off. And the league finally feels alive because of it.
Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx.
You got coaches walking around like they're gatekeepers of some sacred basketball code. As if Clark didn't just catapult the WNBA into headlines faster than a celebrity meltdown. Fans are showing up like it's a Swift tour stop, jerseys sold out, chants echoing, arenas packed. But instead of embracing the moment, some coaches act like she's ruining the vibe. Ruining what exactly? Your blown 15-point lead? Be serious. The only thing she's disrupting is irrelevance.
Cheryl Reeves, I get it. You have the best record in the WNBA so far. You want as many plays as you can on the All-Star team.
If you're still here, hit that like and subscribe, because this is the kind of content fans bought nosebleeds for. And no, it's not for defensive schemes or screen-setting clinics. It's for Caitlin Clark doing the impossible mid-shoelace tie. She's giving this league more buzz than free chicken on a playoff night. But now, fans are side-eyeing benches, wondering why the star attraction is sitting while the coach plays chess with checkers pieces. The audience came for show, not for ego management in the name of strategy. If this keeps up, people will be checking injury reports like weather apps, because no Clark, no crowd.
The drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest of the league.
Let's call it what it is. This isn't about player development. It's a personality contest, and someone's ego didn't get the invite to the Clark parade. You've got coaches treating generational talent like a threat, not a gift. It's like handing someone a Picasso and watching them try to trace over it with crayons and control issues. The league finally has the moment it's been begging for: viral clips, packed arenas, crossover fans. But what do some coaches do? They throw up roadblocks and call it balance. Clark's changing the game, but instead of riding the wave, some are trying to redirect it to fit their outdated agendas. It's sabotage disguised as mentorship, and fans are not buying it.
The same way you didn't give two shits about Caitlin Clark's fan base and all that. Don't nobody give two shits about your crying. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you're coaching Caitlin Clark team, I don't understand why you had to make it a big deal and say, oh, well, this team's below us to have more plays and us, and it's disappointing. And like, what are you talking about?
Here's the twist. When fans stop showing up, guess who'll be first in line whining about declining ratings and lack of media coverage? Yet the same people who treated Clark like a distraction instead of the main event. You don't bench the league's golden ticket just because you don't like who's holding it. This isn't coaching. This is a power trip loud, obvious, and completely self-sabotaging. Clark isn't just a player. She's a movement. But if you keep sidelining the spark, don't act shocked when the fire burns out. Fans are already chanting, "We want Caitlin," louder than the play-by-play announcers. And if that's not a wake-up call, you're not coaching, you're clinging.
You already kept her off the Olympics. Now you're going to complain about her having more teammates than your players on the court. Yeah, get the fuck off this team. Embarrassing. I know she was embarrassed. I don't care what nobody say. I know she was embarrassed.
This is the big stage, the spotlight, the show. And while Stephanie White clutches her clipboard like it's a sacred scroll, the fans are begging to watch greatness, not grudge matches. Caitlin Clark isn't just ready. She's built for this. But apparently, it's her coach who's not. The fans? They're tired. They didn't buy tickets to watch bench drama and awkward rotations. They came to witness a generational baller set the league on fire. And yet here comes the Stephanie White show. Standing ovations for Kelsey and stone-cold silence for Clark draining logo threes through contact. It's giving theater kid energy, starring herself in a role the fans never cast her in.
To be completely honest, I love my team. I think they're great. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them.
Every time Clark's name comes up, Stephanie sprints to talk about veteran leadership and the ghost of seasons past. Girl, nobody asked for a slideshow. We're asking why the rookie who broke viewership records is being treated like a distraction. Clark's not just competing, she's dominating, while veterans are putting up YMCA numbers. But Stephanie can't let go of the idea that maybe, just maybe, the spotlight's not on her anymore. This isn't strategy, it's storytelling. A carefully curated narrative to keep control while ignoring the obvious. Caitlin Clark is the main character, and everyone else is playing catch-up.
I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. He's going to take her coach.
Clark is electric. She makes people stop mid-sentence just to watch. And somehow, her own coach is trying to close the curtain on her show. Every benching, every awkward quote, every empty compliment, it's painfully clear what's going on. Stephanie thinks she's preserving team balance. What she's really doing, sabotaging the one player who put this team and this league back on the map. This isn't culture building. It's fear-based coaching. And it's turning into a masterclass in how to waste a once-in-a-lifetime talent.
Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx.
Imagine Beyoncé walks into your talent show and instead of giving her the mic, you start talking about Motown legends from 2009. That's what this feels like. Clark is the now explosive, undeniable, record-shattering. But her coach? Too busy trying to redirect attention, afraid to admit the future came faster than she could handle. It's not about basketball anymore. It's about control. And the more Stephanie tries to downplay Clark's impact, the more she exposes her own insecurity. And no one's listening to her speeches. They're too busy watching Caitlin make history.
And I love the fact she traded Cheryl Reeve. That's my favorite part of it all. She traded her coach.
Having Clark on your team should make coaching easier. But not when your ego treats every sold-out crowd like a threat. Every jersey sold, every logo 3, Stephanie takes it like a personal attack. She's not building a team. She's building walls. The fans came to see greatness. Not weird subs, not cold interviews, not forced claps from the bench. And while Stephanie thinks she's steering the ship, this thing is drifting into disaster. Because the iceberg isn't Clark. It's ego, floating high above the court like a storm cloud visible to everyone but the person holding the whistle.
We have breaking
Let me know.
news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game. This is something you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
In the end, this won't be a story about a coach who managed egos. It'll be a story about the one who couldn't manage her own. She had the rarest gift in sports, a generational star with skill, charisma, and momentum, and instead of riding that wave, she tried to gatekeep it, tried to pretend this was all part of the plan. But fans aren't stupid. They feel the energy shift. They see who's holding this league together, and it's not the one in a blazer. Clark reminded the world why they love basketball. And if that makes someone uncomfortable, maybe the problem isn't coaching. Maybe it's just her.
WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule.
Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie. She's a revenue stream, a walking headline, a cultural moment, and yet her own coach is treating her minutes like she's just another player in the rotation. That's not strategy. That's self-sabotage. You don't get handed the biggest name in women's sports and respond with load management. You build around her. You unleash her. You don't clip her wings because you're scared she'll fly past your legacy. This isn't the time for modesty. This is the time to let the league's biggest star light up the game, not warm the bench while her coach flexes her clipboard.
Yo, did y'all see Caitlin's face, bro? She was like, nobody cares. That is hilarious, man. Man, I lost my mind when they said that. Oh, my goodness. Now, the way they were talking about it, it seemed like something that was premeditated or, predetermined before they got on live here.
Let's kill the narrative. This isn't humble coaching or letting rookies earn it. This is resentment, dressed up in professionalism. Because when Caitlin Clark breaks records, there's no celebration, just press conferences filled with coded language and team-first reminders. But when someone else hits a basic layup, it's confetti and fireworks from the bench. You can feel it, the uncomfortable tension, the clipped praise, the forced neutrality. That's not balance, that's ego damage control. And fans? They see right through it. Because the game doesn't lie. The fans don't lie. And Caitlin Clark keeps making both impossible to ignore.